first met you fall, I forget you when you told me your name. Tell your favorite number I wouldn't wanna figure this out anyone else but you. I know you're lonely, but this song will have to do. I searched for my whole